So you're new to Genshin or you return to Genshin. For Natlan, you're doing some 10 pulls and you get 5-star Mualani. Now, what do you get with Mualani besides probably the first character that was designed or seems to be designed with a forward vape in mind? Well, Mualani is a catalyst wielding Hydro user who is the newest 5-star and our first 5-star of Natlan. And in this video, we are going to look at the basics of Mualani, how her kit works, things like that. Now, as you can see, I am using the trial Mualani. One, I'm not sure if I'm going to pull her on my North America account, my main. I am going to pull her in EU, but I'm not sure if I want to pull her in on my main yet. So I am just going to be using the trial for this. One, I actually do like what Genshin has done now, which we'll see later. We can actually look at the artifacts in the trial. They give us a new set, the weapon, all of that kind of stuff. And I feel like it's a good place to start looking at where our numbers should be for this character. So that's another reason why I like using the trial characters, especially for the newer 5-stars in these videos. Mualani is level 80 out of 80 with 30,000 HP, 1,151 attack. I love this idle animation, by the way, it's hilarious. 105 EM. Her split 40 over 234.6, which will go up with the artifact set, which we'll look at. 135 ER, and she does have a Hydro Goblet. For weapon, she is running Surf's Up, which is her signature. For artifacts, she is running Obsidian Codex, which is the new set, which has to do with Natlan's thing called Night Soul's Blessing. I don't believe that this artifact set will be viable on any other characters other than Natlan characters, kind of like how Bond of Life was with Arlecchino and Clorinde. But the 4-piece does also get up the crit rate upon using the Night Souls. She is C0 and her talents are 888. Now we're going to look at 3 of her 4 passives. Her first one, when Sharky Surge's bite hits an opponent, a pufferfish will be generated. This will restore 20 Night Soul points when she picks up the pufferfish. Only 2 instances of the pufferfish can work every single time, or can appear every single time you use her skill. Number 2, after a nearby party member triggers a Night Soul burst, she will gain 1 stack of Way Chaser exploits, which will last for 20 seconds with a max of 3 star stacks, which when she uses her burst will increase the damage of it based on her max HP. So basically, I don't think this is going to be usable until we have more Natlan characters that will use their burst. Obviously, you can use it with the Chibi Geo Roomba girl, whose name I can't remember, but I love her. She's so adorable. And I'm going to try and use her with Shiori. That's beside the point. But until we have more characters where we're going to be using their bursts that have Night Souls in it, I don't think that's going to make that big of a deal. Now, this one. This long one right here. Okay. In the trailer, whenever we saw the characters take the field, like swapping between characters, and they had that different kind of animation, it wasn't just like a poof, you're there, but it was like the guy swinging in, her coming in with the shark. That's what this is. And basically what this means is that whenever that happens, she will gain 20 Night Soul points, and it can be triggered once every 10 seconds. That's kind of it. It's a way of whenever they take the field, it will give Night Soul points. Additionally, the Night Soul points and the phlogiston is how I'm going to say that word, while moving on water and the liquid phlogiston, that kind of stuff, during Night Soul's Blessing is decreased. So we'll also point that out whenever we get that up. These Natlan characters have a lot kind of going on with it. So now we're going to go talk about a couple of things. One is what the Night Soul points are, right? As you can see, we have Mualani right here. And there is a bar right above her HP bar. That is the phlogiston bar. I think I'm just going to call it the red bar, the orange bar, the lava bar, something like that. When we use her E, whenever we use her skill, we have this little bar next to her that you can see depleting. That is Night Soul points, okay? So it's 2 completely different things. The Night Soul points will drain during her skill. If you have the lava bar charged up, it will then start to use the lava bar. So outside of exploration in Natlan, I don't think that the lava bar is going to come into effect in like domains or the abyss or anything like that. I think it's only going to be in Natlan exploration, unless there's going to be a character that can produce the charge for the lava bar. Whenever we use her skill, you're going to see that that bar is going to appear, and you're going to see that it is going to drain. Now you notice there are also 3 things next to the bar. That is her stacking mechanism, which we will talk about whenever we look at how her skill works. So during this entire thing, I'm going to try and not get the lava bar charge, the phlogiston bar. I'm going to try and do it just with the Night Soul points, but there are these little orange things that you can see in the overworld near some of the enemy fighting areas, so I do pick them up occasionally on accident. But as you can see right here, once the Night Soul bars go down, it is going to start triggering the phlogiston bar just to kind of keep the traveling aspect up, right? And then you can, in this trial, keep it up permanently, which is kind of what I'm thinking is going to be like in Natlan, where this is just going to really help traverse the area. I have not been to Natlan yet. I'm going to be doing that on live stream later today. But so I don't know how often these phlogiston recharging things are going to exist, right? And then of course, like that passive did say, if we go over water or the liquid phlogiston, which there is none in this trial, which by the way, this trial is freaking cool. I love that they have this for the trial, right? If we go over water, it decreases the stamina, or it decreases the consumption of the night soul points to make traversing easier. If we're in combat, it's gonna go at a normal rate. Okay, so now we're gonna look at her normal attacks and her charged attacks. Now she is a catalyst user, but instead of just doing like the regular orb, she throws this pufferfish, which is really, really cool. All of her animations are very, very good. They're very different than what we had in anything before Natlan. Her charge attack, she is also going to pull out Sharky, swing it like a bat, and hit a pufferfish into the air. It's going to come down dealing AoE Hydra damage, which again is freaking hilarious. I love that she's got so much energy and she's got so much personality, even in just her normal attacks. Now, for her skill. Her skill, like we've seen this entire time, she is going to pull out Sharky and she is going to ride on Sharky. Sharky is going to then mark the enemies. You're gonna see these blue marks come up on the enemy. Once we have 3 stacks, if we do a normal attack, it is going to do a ton of damage. Yes, you can do a normal attack with less than 3 stacks. If we hit E again, if we hit her skill again while we're on Sharky, it just ends the skill. It doesn't do anything. So make sure that you're not hitting E twice, because then, or your second E to activate the normal attack, you have to do normal attack instead. Now, something else that you're going to see is that these pufferfish are going to be produced. The pufferfish is going to give back night soul points, which means that with multiple enemies present, you can do multiple instances of Sharky's full stacked normal attacks without the phlogiston, which I'm going to try and do it. You're going to notice that it does not last as long, especially with only 1 enemy. If you have less enemies, you do more damage. If you have more enemies, you do less damage per enemy, but you're able to do Sharky's big attack more often. So the way that the stacks work is that every single time you put one of these marks on an enemy, it is going to give a stack, right? With multiple enemies, you get them very, very fast. You can do Sharky's normal attack, her Sharky's fully charged, fully stacked normal attack to do a ton of damage. With single enemies, it is much harder to get those stacks up. You can do it. You can also get the pufferfish to get more night soul points to then start working on doing it again. But if you don't have the phlogiston, you're going to notice that you cannot do that attack as often as you had been, right? So just keep that in mind as you're going around doing these things, is that outside of this or outside of Natlan, you're not going to be able to do Sharky's fully stacked normal attack as often. So Mualani does also scale off of HP with Sharky's fully stacked normal attack, Sharky's skill, and her burst. All of it is HP